Our 14th episode.
I know.
Two Michelle's
One question.
podcast. Here we are.
Episode 14.
Wow.
How did we get here?
I feel like, is 14 when you go through, is that adolescent? I feel like
I would say this is a fitting number for what our question is today.
14. It's usually when you get, your period.
Awkward, right? Yeah.
Sorry, guys.
Well,
I have a 14-year-old at home, so I know. Boy. So
start with that.
It's awkward. I had a little boy too. 14's an awkward time.
Oh, so awkward.
Yeah.
So awkward. But our next two guests, they are not awkward today, but maybe they were as kids.
Wow. I think we all were at 14.
Right?
Yeah.
We got Daryl Reece. He's with Stock the Bar. Patrick Placzkowski, Boys and Girls Club of Greater Grand Rapids, executive director. But Daryl is also a board member, as Michelle and Michelle are also board members
At the Boys and Girls Club.
Yes.
Yeah.
And so we wanted to bring our friends in.
Yeah.
Because that's what we do.
Basically, it's what we do.
And put them on the spot.
Here's where you donate. No.
We will get to that too, right?
But Patrick, what made you, before we get started with Daryl's, I try not to use the word journey because it's so overused, with Daryl's situation, Daryl's story. What made you come to the Boys and Girls Club? Because you just tell us, because I know a lot.
Okay, sure.
Okay.
Sure. So I moved to Grand Rapids in 2012 from Washington, D.C., but I'm from Wisconsin originally, Milwaukee, which is like Grand Rapids, just a little bit bigger. Same thing. More Polish, less Dutch. Well, we're pretty Polish here too. But and so I worked with the Van Andel Institute for a number of years over there as a director of development, a fundraiser, and great place, wonderful work, but had an opportunity through a board member at the Boys and Girls Club to throw my hat in the ring for the CEO position. And for me, it was a really good opportunity to be able to do work that I could see right in front of me. So those kids in the community and really be a part of the community of Grand Rapids. Because being a transplant, I felt like it was home, but not home. And so that was a really great opportunity. And with kids, I love kids. I have a 14-year-old, as we talked about. I was a kid once too, an awkward 14-year-old as well. And so I know the opportunities that we at the Boys and Girls Club have, the staff, the wonderful professional staff, to really change the trajectory of kids' lives. Because we all had people like that in our lives, no matter what, where we grew up and how we grew up. Every one of us has those struggles.
Name it, Mrs. Vitisse. Mrs. Vitisse,
and they have that
Tipton.
person. That's
Ms.
right.
Tipton, yeah. I mean, my theater teacher was changed the course of my whole
Same.
everything.
Absolutely. Yeah. Mrs. Hitchcock was for me.
Oh,
Same
okay.
thing.
Oh,
Same
tell her
thing.
hello. She owes me money.
Everybody owes you money.
I know. But Patrick, it used to be back in the day, the Boys Club. That's what it used to be called,
That's
right? The Boys Club years and years ago. And the police department formed this because they wanted to help kids who were didn't have parents at home, but parents were working, or kids who were on the streets or whatever. Help them have a place to go.
Yeah. It goes all the way back to 1938.
Yeah.
Frank O'Malley, who was the police chief, they called him superintendent at the time. He wanted to start an organization to help those boys who were just kind of out and about in the city with not anything to keep them busy.
They called them wayward.
That's right. There are a lot of different terms that we don't use anymore.
I
but
know. What? That's not.
That's right. Yeah, little rascals.
They did.
Yeah.
It's seriously. And he created the Grand Rapids Youth Commonwealth, they called it. And it was a program with the police department. Started it in a house in Grand Rapids and out of Camp O'Malley. And we've been around for whatever that is, 85, 86 years.
Wow.
So, yeah. And now we became a Boys and Girls Club, part of Boys and Girls Club of America in 2007. And that's been really great too, because it gives us access to all kinds of great curriculum, really, evidence-based, research-based stuff to work with kids around positive youth development. And so it's all about providing that whole support to a child and being that person that we all need at a point in our lives that's not a parent, that's not a teacher maybe, or maybe it is, but it's that other person who sees you in a way that other people maybe don't. So
I guess our question today then must be what one person and or event changed you, helped you,
Absolutely. Yeah.
inspired you. Yeah.
Change the trajectory of your life. Yeah. All right. Well, let's get to Daryl and let him answer this question first, because he was part of the Boys and Girls Club. Daryl, thanks for being here.
Thank you for having me.
Absolutely.
Appreciate the opportunity.
So you're in the hot seat now.
You
So
are.
talk
know,
about
right?
this person experience thing that changed the trajectory of your life as a child?
Well, when I moved from Ben Harbor to Kalamazoo, I didn't have friends or things like that, moving from another city. And my mom was a single mom working all the time. So he decided to have me do something. So I decided to join the Boys and Girls Club, which is located on the south side of Kalamazoo. And that's where I met friends at. I learned about games. I learned about life.
Wow.
I learned about a lot of things from the staff there. They were older, but they weren't older. They were in their mid-20s, the staff.
Oh, which seemed like old people at the time. How old were you?
12.
Oh.
Yep, I was 12 at the time, middle school. Yeah, I was 12 at the time. And it kind of changed the trajectory of my life because moving from Ben Harbor, we moved there because my mom was going to school and she was working. And I hadn't, she wanted to keep me out of idle time.
Trouble.
And, and the Boys and Girls Club was where it's at. And it kept me out of a lot of time. Friends that I had then, I have today.
Really?
A bunch of my friends that I met at the Boys and Girls Club and in Kalamazoo are some of my best friends today. And they support me today.
What's something that you did there as a 12-year-old, 13-year-old, 14-year-old that you would never have had the opportunity?
It's this pool that they play in. It's not pool, but it's called, I can't think of the name of it, where they have the thing.
Bumpers?
Yes. Bumper pool.
Bumper pool.
I never did that in my life.
Gambling then is what we're saying.
No, not yet. That came later on.
Look at 20. But that's something you'd never been exposed to.
Ping pong. We played a lot of ping pong, but it was things that because I was young in Ben Harbor, all we did was play basketball, baseball, football. But being in a club, you did different things, you learned different things. They help you with your schoolwork and did a lot of different things. So it helped me a lot.
And talk about having those friends still today.
Yeah.
Well, how cool is that for you to look back and have those experiences and have grown up and been through all of that and still have those friends? What impact does that make on you today for what you do?
Oh, it's awesome. They still come and visit me. I talk to them once a week. I'm supposed to get down to Kalamazoo and visit a bunch of those friends in April around my birthday, which is coming up. And I'm supposed to get together and we're supposed to celebrate because some of those people are still the most impactful people in my life. My wife knows them now. They come to my house. They done been to my parties. And they support us a lot. So I love them.
Parties.
Yeah.
He throws a big party.
Yeah, we used to throw a party in the basement. And it grew from 30 people to 250 people.
Well, talk about what you do, too. I mean, let's talk about this party and talk about all of your businesses. You have a nonprofit.
Okay, well, it started out as just a party in the basement. We called it a Stock the Bar party.
Yeah.
And it grew to 30 people to 250 people. And then we moved it to venues and we started having it. And we have 500 people from all over the country. And we started donating proceeds to the Boys and Girls Clubs of Ben Harbor, Kalamazoo, and Grand Rapids. And then we came out with our own spirit line in 2019 off of that.
Are we doing shots today? Is that what happened?
No.
I don't know if we brought any. We didn't ask
a little early.
What? But, what's it called?
Stock the Bar Vodka.
That's probably...
And it counted from stocking my bar when we got our bar built in our basement. Everybody brought a spirit to stock our bar with. So we ran with the name since 2010. Yeah,
that's amazing.
Now we have a festival. We have a nonprofit organization called Pieces of Reece's Foundation that we have. It'll be our third annual event, August 9th at Rosa Park Circle, where we donate to the Boys and Girls Club, obviously, and we help out other organizations around the city.
Do you think that you're very philanthropic, and does that come from knowing that when you were a kid, you had a place to go? Yes. I mean, is that do you think that's what inspires or are you just kind of a giver? You're just a cool dude. I mean, what are you gonna?
It did inspire me, but I am a giver. I have good people around me, not having kids of my own, and I'm being an only child. I just think we have to give back and look out for people. Yeah. I think everybody deserves a hand, and that's all. It's just that easy.
Patrick, I have a quick question for you. There was a kid one day, he was having an issue on a Sunday. He got into it with his mom. His mom locked him out to that. And this is the kind of thing that as a kid, when you don't have family or you don't have anywhere to go, I mean, what was that story?
Yeah, that was, I was one of our teens and just having it was a hard time of life.
Yep.
A lot of strife, a lot of people understand and probably had their own experiences like this. And so, he was having a tough time with his mom. And she kicked him out, and on a Saturday it was, and he came and found he knew one of the staff that works part time at the Boys and Girls Club, also works at the YMCA on the weekends, and he knew that. So he went down there and talked to her, and we, pulled together a team and got him the resources he needed for the evening, and got him back with his mom. And so we do really try and make sure that we smooth over those kinds of
one person that he knew that he liked, that he trusted, and called her on a weekend at her other job and said, "Hey, can you help?" And she jumped to it. You know, she answered.
Yeah, that's right.
That's the thing that's amazing. And those are the little moments that make a difference in a kid's life. Just something little like that could have, anything could have happened.
Yeah. It just happened again earlier this week with another 13-year-old. And in that case, her mom called the club staff to say, like, hey, she's taken off. And they went and found her. They found her over on the Northwest side and got her back home and did some work with her and her mom. And so, yeah. So, I mean, that's those teen years are the tough years.
I was going to say, it's such a hard time, the
emotions.
Yeah. Right?
Yeah.
Well, Patrick, do you have an experience that changed your trajectory of your life?
It was probably back to Mrs. Hitchcock with the theater.
What
I just
happened?
discovered. Well,
you're both theater kids, both.
It was. I know. It was just one of those things. I was not gonna audition for the play, and then sitting in the back of the theater watching other kids audition, and my friend Pete Onesti, good old Pete, was just. He's like, go up there and do that. I'm not gonna do that. And he's like, and then he finally just like called out. He stood up and said, "This guy wants to audition." Made me do it, and so. Those times in your life.
Did you have to sing or what was
No, it was just a theater audition. It was goofy. I don't even remember.
Come on.
But yeah, and Mrs. Hitchcock was fantastic. And I saw she helped me see myself in a different way at the time.
Yes.
So.
Yeah.
Yeah. It was good. So yeah. So then I did have a career in theater for a while, ran a theater company for a while back in the late 90s, early 2000s, and had a great time doing it. But it's a tough way to make a living.
You got to pay the bills.
You got to pay the bills.
It's awfully fun.
Yeah.
What about you? Was it something that happened that changed the trajectory of where you're headed?
Well, I think it along the track of teachers, Miss Tipton, we had a really great broadcasting program at my high school. And so I got into that immediately. We had at the time the highest powered high school radio station in the country. Shout out WHFH, 88.5 FM. Yeah.
What?
So we had that, and we had the Viking Broadcasting Network, which was our TV station, a full working TV station. We did video announcements 4 days a week. We literally had better equipment at my high school than I did at my first job. But Miss Tipton was a TV teacher, and she was. Not everyone liked Tipton.
Right.
She was one of those teachers that because she was tough, man. She was tough, and she took you to task, and. She, for some reason, liked me, but I was passionate about what we did, and I have a high bar, and I loved it, and I loved to learn, and so radio was not as much my thing, but the TV thing was better. So, and funny come around story. I was working my first job in Dubuque, Iowa, a really small station. I was doing the weather at the time, and she was up in Galena visiting and had watched, and so she called me. And she was like so excited. She was like, I can't believe it. I mean, it was like we were podunk state. Like again, better equipment at my high school than we had at that station.
Wow.
But she was very proud.
Listen, I went to Catholic schools. We didn't have anything. I did the announcements. That's what changed.
With a microphone. Well, maybe that was your
Well,
tradition.
that is. Christine Batiste, Mrs. Batiste, God rest her soul, was the media teacher and the theater teacher. And I wanted to be a jock. Like I ran track and I played this and played that. But at Catholic schools, we don't have, we didn't even have a softball team for girls. We did Powerpuff football, but we did full contact because nobody monitored the Catholic schools in the state. So we pummeled the seniors anyway. But I always thought, I wanted, and she's like, you kind of have a gift of because she goes, you're kind of an entertainer. She goes, why don't you do the announcement? So, and the nun, Sister Honoria, did not want me to do the announcement.
She's a rogue.
And so that's why I'm doing radio.
This is a tactic we use at the Boys and Girls Club with kids who just got ants in their pants for the day, or maybe every day. And it's like, hey, why don't you come on over here and help me with announcements? It helps a lot. Yeah.
Right. That's a
and sometimes those kids find, sometimes those are the kids that are being told to sit down and be quiet all day long at school, and gives them a different kind of opportunity.
I was a put in the hallway more than I wasn't. I was a talks to I got good grades, but everything says talks out of turn, talks too much in class, gabby gab, blah, 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 doesn't let anyone else talk. Shocker. Right. And so, but you're right. She controlled it. And same thing with theater. Hello, Dolly. Hello, Dolly. I was not Dolly. Should have been Dolly. I was not. I'm sorry. I take it back.
Still holding a grudge.
Oliver. I was Mrs. Whatever in Oliver. And Oliver was my first audition of a play, a freshman, and we did huge productions in high school. Like it was amazing.
Well, it's about finding kids' strengths, right? It's a strengths based thing. It's about like turning that thing over that could be seen, in some areas of life as like a weakness or a flaw, and being able to find that as a strength and harness that.
Right,
that is key.
Daryl, what do you see now with the kids that's different from when you were there, or is it the same? Does a 12-year-old need what he needs? Because what's different?
Yeah, social media.
Oh, I know.
It's a big
What's
deal.
different? Yeah.
I cut hair every day. I'm a barber. We own a barber and beauty salon. That's what my wife and I do by day.
You're a barber?
And I've ran across a lot of different kids over the last 25 years that I've been a barber. So social media is about the biggest thing going. Having a phone at 12 is kind of
different. I don't think it's good.
I was around when the TV went off at night.
Right.
You had to go to sleep. Wasn't nothing else to do. The TV went off.
They sang the national anthem, and that was it. It was
right.
done.
TV doesn't go off anymore.
Yeah.
Social media never goes off.
And I think the kids get too much right now. And then if you got bullied at school and you came home and it was fine. Now you can get bullied at home, social media.
Yes.
It's so I do think it's more pressure as a kid, right?
It's a lot.
Oh, your microphone broken?
Misbehaving. It's okay. I got it.
But yeah, it's a lot. So the challenge is, what at Boys and Girls Club, like, what do you,
you have to, what Patrick and them do is they have video games. They have things that are part of social media. You can't run away from it because you won't get kids to come to the club.
You're right.
So you got to kind of embrace it and, but have a little control, regulate it a little bit. But they do a good job at the Boys and Girls Club.
They do.
Yeah.
These, the kids that we saw at the luncheon.
Yes. Youth of the Year luncheon, such a great event. And can we just also give a shout out? There are so many wonderful events to be a part of with the Boys and Girls Club. If you are local in Grand Rapids listening to this, volunteers, let's put the call out, you guys. What can people do to help support all the work you're doing?
They can do a ton. So they can come to these events. Youth of the Year is a great one, always in March. Just a great opportunity to see some of our outstanding teens and celebrate their accomplishments.
It's great. Reading speeches. Who does? Wow.
Yep. Yeah, talk about a journey. They always talk about it. And then our golf outing is in June. If you golf, that's really fun at Scott Lake. And then the Be Great Tailgate, where you really get to see Michelle McCormick at her finest, leading the auction.
Michelle
Dunaway.
We had this police chief between us. We're auctioning him off.
Yeah. He got a lot of money.
He did.
We were auctioning out like 2 dates.
A ride along.
They were dates.
A ride along.
Such a good sport. Yeah. Yeah. But then there's volunteer opportunities all the time. Whether it's a corporate group that can come in and help us with kids, or in the clubs, or whether you're just an individual and you want to come in and serve dinner or read to the kids. The little ones always love to have a reading buddy in a learning center. So, or if you like to play basketball and you're not like me with bad knees and stuff, you can get out on the court.
It's bad knees why you can't play basketball. I'll go with,
I don't have the ups that I used to. So.
The ups?
Yeah. And Daryl's got something.
Well, I want people to know that they feed these kids every single day, Monday through Friday. They drive out to Camp O'Malley, cook these meals and bring these meals in town, and they get a hot meal. At least you're going to eat. If you never eat once a day at the Boys and Girls Club. And I think that's one of the most impactful things that they do. So I wanted to make sure I put that out there, that everybody knows that they're feeding these kids 5 days a week at the Boys and Girls Club.
And $10 will do 10 meals?
Yeah. Well, we get pretty good mileage out of our meals for sure. Yeah.
You get great deals on stuff.
Yeah, we do. And we're cooking quite a few meals every night. So yeah, it's really important for a lot of the families. And
if you're not local in Michigan, give to your, I mean, if you're listening, because we are an international podcast, to Michelle's one question, just so you know. Give to your Boys and Girls Club, because it's still here.
Right. There's longevity in 80 plus years.
It's amazing.
Right. But I do it, Daryl, just quickly, you did this, your mom wanted to keep you out of trouble. What is your mom still with?
Yes,
us?
my mom lives with me and my wife and I for the last 15 years.
Oh my gosh! So obviously she's proud of you. Let's talk about that and where she sees where you're at today.
Oh, my mom think I should be president of the United States.
As every good
the
mom,
mayor and everything. No, she always supports me. Between my wife and my mom, everything's great for me.
Okay. That and then the booze that you sling.
Yeah,
You're doing okay.
I do
Daryl.
a little bit. I try to.
You have a good. That's good.
And a good mix of things. Cutting hair, having parties.
It's just God willing, they put it on my heart, and I'm just running with it.
Thank you guys. Thanks for coming to see how quick this goes.
Yeah, no, that's
I know. Thank you for coming in today to do this. It's just once in a while, because we goof around a lot, but we need to be brought back down to earth every once in a while.
Sometimes.
Yeah.
But this was great. I totally thoroughly enjoyed this conversation. One more quick shout out. If people want to get involved, Patrick, where do they need to go?
Yeah, they can go to the website, BGC, that's in Boys and Girls Club, bgcgrandrapids.org.
Thank you. Yeah. By the way, like and subscribe if you have a question for us.
Yeah, Two Michelle's One Question podcast on all of the places.
Yeah. Wherever you get your podcast. And thanks, you guys. Were we good?
You.
Was it good?
It was great.
Yes.
Did you like it?
Yeah, easy.
Everybody okay?
Yeah.
Easy?
Are we all invited to your party?
Yes.
Okay, good.
Oh, stock the bar.
We're stocking the bar.
I want to empty the bar. Okay, all right.
Thanks, guys.
Thank you.